Well, from the client list to someone who you should definitely be getting on your client list, this man has changed my entire life and my view on how communities can sustain themselves. I was there in the very first days when he planted a garden or a seed of a garden at the Luandle Primary, and the other day when we were there for the first harvest, please tell South Africa how much food you were able to harvest.
Well, Kadlejo, in the first month, from that first harvest, 250 kilos of food.
250 kilograms of food that is going out to feed the community, to feed the children at the school. Sir, that's amazing.
Thank you.
I absolutely love it. But today, back at our garden in our studio, how's the garden looking so far? I mean, weather not really looking, you know, kind of best for it right now, but how's the garden looking?
Yeah, our garden's looking absolutely great. We're kind of rounding off of the summer crops here. And we've got these aubergines that have just been producing for weeks now.
Look at that.
Really lovely, big specimens here, lots of them.
Huge.
Second round of bush beans. Lettuces really all ready for harvest here. The chilies are coming up really beautifully.
They really look kind of mild and, you know, tame at this stage of
Yeah,
their life.
I wouldn't be so sure.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, these guys are gonna definitely have a kick when they're bigger, that's for sure.
All right.
And then we've got the edible flowers going.
Wow.
And strawberries, really important time to focus in on strawberries this time of year.
Yeah, I mean, we usually associate strawberries with summer. It's what we have when we're out on picnics. So it's just before winter now.
Yes.
Why is it the best time for strawberries?
Well, as you can see here, strawberries are, we can propagate them from runners. So at this time of the year, the strawberries will have lots of runners like this. We can kind of, if your friends have strawberries, wherever you can find strawberries, you can just get runners like this or buy them at a nursery and plant them out. This is the right time of the year to plant out the strawberries so that they can set roots, take their time, so that by the spring they can already have their first harvest.
Okay, so where's it best to plant them? I mean, how would you even start planting something like that?
Well, specifically the roots will come out of here, so you literally just put it in some good soil. It's important, it needs to be well-draining, well-composted soil. Actually likes a little bit of acidity in the soil, so a little trick is to use pine needles or even just the general mulch, the top layer of soil under pine trees. If you go for a walk if you're lucky to go for a walk in a pine forest, you can collect some of that and just use that as a mulch around the strawberry. And then obviously always we need to take into account what are the best companions, what to plant with
yes,
the
exactly. We're
strawberries.
always talking about companion planting. So what is the best kind of companion planting for strawberries?
Okay, well, a few things to take into account. Strawberries love good sunlight. I mean, in order for the fruit to set properly, you need good sun. However, they actually grow well in the shade. I mean, the actual plant grows beautifully in, they're indigenous to European forests. That's where they started out. So as companions, things like lettuces, spinaches, anything that's actually going to cast a little bit of shade, they're a great ground cover. Their root system is very shallow, so they don't compete with other
Deeper seeking roots.
Exactly. Thank you for that. So those are some good companions, but I would say the best is borage.
Okay.
It's got edible flowers. It's a beautiful plant. It helps to condition the soil, and it. In fact, I mean, most strawberry farmers will plant rows of borage in between their rows of strawberries.
Now, we all love strawberries, but how high maintenance are they? I mean, after you've, let's say, done the correct kind of companion planting, you've got the right kind of soil, you know, fertilizers, kind of keeping pests away from them. How tough is it to maintain?
The one thing is that they're really delicious. We know that. So the little insects think the same. So that's really the big issue, is to keep your strawberries protected. If they're sitting on bare soil, it's almost inevitable that some cutworm or caterpillar is going to come out of the soil and eat them. So one of the ways that I've already mentioned is a good thick mulch, specifically of pine needles. That will really help. Another thing, it's just a little trick, that if you take a paper plate and you cut in the middle of the plate and you kind of slide it around the base of the plant, create a little cone so that the fruits actually sit on the plate, and variations on that newspaper. But the best is really a good thick layer of mulch, and of course, as you mentioned, compost, liquid fertilizers, any fruiting crop really needs to be fed regularly.
Yeah, well, it might sound like a lot of effort, but I think at the end of the day, well worth all the trouble you're going to put in when you get one of these beauties out, and then you get to like dip it in some cream in it.
Absolutely, when it's fresh from the garden, couldn't be better.
Absolutely delicioso. So thank you very much. Always great to have you with us.
Pleasure.
We'll
Thanks,
see you soon
Patrick.
again. We'll see you after the break.